Hello, welcome back to the Magical Readathon. Even if you have been with the Magical Readathon from the very beginning, this will be your first semester at Orilium. It is time for us to pick a calling. But I have tried to keep it as close as possible to what we know and love, as long as it was made by me and not taken from their universe, which thankfully was quite a bit. It's all good. Hopefully. If you're new here, hello, I'm G. I'm a little bit of a nerd. I hope you will be nerds together. Some of you have been here from those days, some of you guys are new, but basically this is just a themed adventure, kind of D&D, kind of just fantasy in general, character creation, alternate universe event that motivates you to pick up some books, read a little bit more, challenge yourself, while simultaneously kind of having like almost a game on the side of it, leveling up your character, making it more reputable, competing with other guilds, that kind of vibe. I will say, if you have missed my re-announcement of the Magical Readathon, I will link the first video down below where I go a little bit more in depth about the world, how it's set up. Also, as per usual, I have a bunch of downloadables linked in the description bar. If you're watching this premiere, the links to all of the downloadables will be uploaded like 5 minutes after it ends. But this one is still available, obviously, but that is not why we are here today. We are here today to finally step inside the Orilium Academy and go back into learning. I feel like we had quite a, a gap year. The break is over and we gotta go and work again. You know what sounds fun? Exams. What is wrong with me? Let's not open that can of worms. And as an introduction to the world, last year we have done something that is called the Novice Path, which is a journey through this treacherous road with a bunch of challenges and trials that eventually led us to Orilium Arc, which is this beautiful iridescent portal that transports you right onto the Orilium floating in the sky. This was a full-on month-long readathon with a bunch of prompts, so I'm obviously not expecting anyone joining in now to do that. So this is something that I want to really stress out. You do not have to go through the Orilium path with the prompts and the readathon. If you want to create a character, you can do so starting now. There is this character sheet. We'll upload it again in the G Drive. Well, you can select your heritage, background, province that you live in, and, you know, name, guild, whatever. You don't need to do the prompts for the Novice Path. However, at the end of the Novice Path, we had this, well, throughout the Novice Path, we were making these decisions that eventually, as a surprise, led you to be accepted or invited to a guild or two. You do have to pick one, but you could have been invited to a couple and then chosen from them. Again, you don't have to do the prompts, you don't have to do anything, but there is a video as well as a document called Choices, which is basically a sorting quiz where you can decide what your character you think would do, simultaneously building your character personality. And there's an answer sheet on the other side. If you watch the video, I walk through it step by step, and at the end you will know which guild your character belongs in. And again, the guilds are described in the brief history of LDFile. Literally last week, we had the Gear Up mini readathon where we chose our conduit, aka a magical object through which you focus your magic, as well as your guild's legacy. Again, if you're just joining now, you don't have to do the prompts, just pick whatever you like because this is just a fun character build exercise. All of that to say, feel free to create a character if you're just joining. You don't have to read anything for it, just join us. Alright, on to this month. As I said, I am trying to keep the previous months as we always did, which is April and August, so your A months. And it's April. I am aware I'm posting this very close to April, and normally I would prefer to give people way more time. It is a month-long readathon, so hopefully you still have time to do that, but I do apologize for the short notice, but it's been a difficult couple of years. I'm just happy it's happening, basically, okay? The readathon is throughout April. The full year of Orilium and studying at Orilium consists of 2 semesters, otherwise actually called as Equinox. Sis? Equini? Anyway, we have the spring equinox, which is this, welcome. And then we have the autumn equinox, technically end of summer. However, time doesn't have to work the same way in Eldia, and autumn just honestly sounds way more fun for a reader than the summer. So it is spring and autumn, even though it is in August and it's not in autumn. It's fine. Same structure as owls and newts, basically. Continuing with the similarities, and during the spring equinox, we just have one prompt per subject. And during the autumn equinox, we have grades that we want to achieve. Literally same as the newts if you were here before. I wouldn't worry about it now because this will be explained before August. The only thing is that when you're picking a calling, which is your career, you might want to see how many books you will be required for that career to read in August. So these are the new grades: ordinary, qualified, and distinguished. So if you see that you need a D, which is a distinguished in a career, that means that you have to read 3 books to reach that. So welcome to the callings. The exciting file of the readathon, or so I hope. We are starting with 22, and a calling is a career. It's just your calling, something that your character is pulled towards doing, really wants to spend and dedicate their lives doing. Callings are available to everyone unless that specific calling is exclusive to your guild. There are 4 exclusive careers, 1 per each guild. And it will say here, kind of hard to read font, but all of these are also available in its transcript form. For the House of the Arcane, we have the Archmage, which is on page 2, Master of Elements, the Order of the Crescent exclusive, which is on page 6. Then we have Godseer for the Archivist, and it's on page 14. And then we have the Dreamwalker for the Mindwalkers on page 20. So let me just go on to the random one. For example, a healer. We have the main description here, and then we have some key traits similarly to last setup. And then we have spring equinox requirements and then autumn equinox requirements. So for this example, you would need to read 4 books during the spring equinox, which is now, and then O is 1 book, Q is 2 books, and then D is 3 books. So that is 6 books for August batch. I'm very excited to see what you guys will pick, what calling calls to you. I hope you will enjoy the options. I was trying to be both traditional and inventive and original, so hopefully there's a mixture of both of these things and you do find something that you would like. I also really try to do my best to curate this so everyone will find a level of challenge they're looking for. But of course, if you are either lacking time or don't want to have the time restraint, you can just extend the time for yourself. Up to you. You know how I am. Pretty easy. But yes, listed under the semesters are your classes. Then we have the syllabus file, which is specifically for Spring Equinox 2022. Again, now, reading prompts and what we're studying in those classes. So I am going to go through these with you guys. So this year in Alchemy, we're studying a lot of things, but this is the big focus subjects. For Alchemy is Potion of Infatuation, and the reading prompt is to read a book featuring romance. Again, book is anything that you can mark on Goodreads. That's usually the definition we're going with, and I'm happy to keep that. Then we have Animal Studies, Ways of a Pegasus, and that is a quick read. Art of Illusion, Mirror Image, a book with the trope you like. Astronomy, Basics, Asteroids and Comets, top of your to-be read list. Conjuration, Conjuring of Light, Source of Light on cover. This can be a lantern, a candle, sun, the moon, anything that reflects or emits light in any way can for this prompt. Then we have Demonology, Shadow Demons, word shadow in title, that is book title or the series title or even the pseudonym of the author. Elemental Studies, Basics of Air Dynamics, book under 100 pages. Spells and Incantations, Anti-Gravity Spell, short story or an essay, or short stories or essays, a collection, whichever you prefer. Artificery, Schematic Literacy, a book with an earth setting, so an urban setting. Then we have Inscription, we're studying about a glyph of strength. Face your fears and read an intimidating book. That is obviously subjective of what you find intimidating. Maybe there's one that you've just been avoiding because it's just scary. Then for lore, Myths Most Known, and that is to read a mythology book or mythology-inspired retelling. Psionics and Divination is Clear Sentience, book set in the future. Restoration is Cure Wounds, book featuring healers. and shapeshifting, formation claws, and for this is creature with claws on the cover. You have a list of prompts and then you pick whatever career you think sounds the best and is challenging or doable. Then you look at the list of all the things you need for that. You find them on your syllabus list, and those prompts are what you need to read this month. I hope that makes sense. If you have done the previous Magical Readathons, this is exactly the same, just with a different world. Not to complicate things further, but to complicate things further. I wanted to add something for people who are returning, people who are either doing the readathon with me every year or by themselves. Have some sort of build-up system where we get a little bit of a reward for continuously working at the characters, you know? I do want to say this, entirely optional. This is just if you want it. That's it. Guild tiers or guild ranking. So this is your social status within your guild. There are 5 levels and congratulations, you're already on the first one. The first one is initiate, so anyone who takes the novice path test and gets sorted and invited into a guild is already considered initiate. However, to level up in your guild, you do need to be a little active, show up, rep your guild, and just become known and become coveted within your guild. So I have this handy dandy fun to fill in, hopefully, bar. You can see it comes up in 100 increments. Going from initiate to assistant status, you need to reach 100 points, and then from assistant to revered, it's 200. These are cumulative, so once you have 100, you don't need to collect 200 again. It's just like, it just stacks up. So it's 100 for each. So first I will tell you what these levels are. As I said, initiate is just everyone who is in a guild already. Are just relatively unknown, new members, or just people who just hanging and the guild presence is not their first priority. Then you have assistant. You're somewhat known. People might spot your face, might not know your name yet, but they know you're about, and you yourself have this extended sense of belonging. Maybe you just hang out in the dormitory quite a lot and, you know, it just feels like second home. But of course, why would you work for no reward? So if you do reach these levels, the following are perks you get to use during the readathon. So for example, if you reach the assistant level, which requires you collecting 100 guild reputation points, that you get to count a genuine DNF. What is a genuine DNF? So first of all, DNF stands for did not finish. This is the book that you start reading and then you feel like, nah, this is just not gonna happen. Genuine just means that you shouldn't cheat, stop just cuz. But like a genuine DNF, you know, it's not for the sake of fulfilling the prompt, but it's because like it's slowing you down, you don't like it, you would just genuinely DNF the book. Moving on, we have revered, and this is the level where you are fairly known. Like, people say hi to you in the hallways. If there is some sort of communal matter, they will ask for your opinion. You might be asked to show around new members. You're basically like becoming a little bit like a go-to person, not the go-to person, but you're valued, you feel important, you know the nooks and crannies of the guild headquarters as well, like you're really like in there. So this requires 200 total points and allows you to change one book to any other one you want, even if it doesn't fit a prompt. So if it's a prompt that you really don't want to do, you can just pick whatever book you want once per semester, and you can just do whatever you want, read whatever you want. The next step up is Exalted. So this is where you are really seen as a representative. If there are important meetings, you will be asked to attend, if obviously you want to. Your opinion is maybe ranked even above a majority of members. Maybe even decide what new member should be invited and vote against inviting others. Fellow mages actually really admire your efforts and your involvement in the guild and will be actively seeking your advice and tutelage. And the reward for reaching that, if you read a book that's 500 or more pages, you can actually count it as 2. Again, once per semester, and if the prompt is to read a book over 500 pages, you can still use this. And then, if you do ever reach 400 points with this character, this guild, you reach the status of Paragon, and you are literally living, breathing legend to them. People will be almost like starstruck within the guild. You know, if someone's gonna be like, oh, I am in the Order of the Crescent guild, and someone else is gonna be like, oh, so like this person, and that person is gonna be your name. You're like the symbol and like everything the guild stands for. So much so that you have your own private library office in their headquarters, so you're totally at home. This is your home, and you just do whatever you want. You're the one that makes the rules. And if you do reach Paragon, you actually get to double up on all the prompts, so you can read one book, and if it fits all of the prompts, that is you passed, just because you're just so naturally talented. Who needs to study hard? No, but this is for all of your hard work prior. How do you get guild points? First of all, successfully completing a semester already will give you 50 points. Even just by continuously returning to the guild, you will reach some of the levels. This is obviously per character because it has to be in the same guild, like the same person. So if you are of a mind of swapping characters often, this probably wouldn't work. But if you do come back with the same character, you will build it up. So if you even do this April and this August, next year you will automatically be assistant level because you will have the 100 points from passing the exams. So that is the easiest, kind of most natural way of getting points. But some other methods of getting that mainly will include going on the adventure boards and seeing if there's any quests that need, mages to go along and showcase your skill and maybe get some sort of treasure that you bring back to the guild, or just simply represent your guild out there in the wild and showcasing your skills, and then just getting reputation from that, because like, oh my god, you did that cool thing and you did it in our name, nice. Here's some reputation, people will start knowing your name. So not this round, but later on there will be a board for you to just pick from that is available for everyone, but some quests, including this time around, will be up for grabs on Twitter. I will link all of the socials down below and I will also speak to them in a second. It will work like this. I will post a brief description of adventure. This adventure will have a prompt for you to do, so a reading prompt, so an extra book, so not for everyone. But if you do think you're still able to read another book, I will say, we are looking for 10, 15 mages to do this and that, reward 20 or 30 guild reputation points. So the first 10 or 15 people, how many the quest requires, will call basically first dibs. And so the first people that will say claim, me, they will claim that spot. So this will be a limited time deal, like a certain prompt, a certain adventure, only a certain amount of people get to go on. But there will obviously be quite a few of these, so just have those notifications on if you are wanting to level up in the guild faster than others. And good news to those who did walk the novice path with me last year. I did say you will be rewarded, and your reward is that you already have 50 points. So you are already halfway to the assistant rank. And the last kind of way to earn points will be any type of mini readathons. If they are themed for something that would grant you those points, you will know ahead of time, and probably some other ways in the future, I don't know. I hope this is a fun addition. Again, super optional. If you want to, you can totally ignore this. This has nothing to do with the careers and leveling into that. This is specifically just like a guild thing. I just thought it would be fun, and I like things that are a little bit more intricate. I don't know, I like rewards. So this is the way I think would be fun to do it. That's it for the content in that sense. I want to talk about a couple of things that you could expect. So the first thing is an Instagram photo challenge. It would be from the 4th to the 10th of April. There will be a hashtag under which your photos could be found. If you want to participate, you can. If you don't, that's fine. But I know that some people prefer Instagram to other platforms, and I wanted to do something there as well. Then we of course have the Magical All-Nighter, which is a 24-hour readathon. This is currently planned for the 23rd to 24th of April. I will let you know the timing a little bit closer to the date. I personally always sleep, but it's up to you. My take on it is that for the hours you are awake during that period, you focus on reading. And of course you can expect some sprints on my channel that's available for everyone to join, and also on Patreon if you want to just hang out with a smaller group. Other things to expect is some bookish or Orilium themed quizzes on Twitter, because of course we have guild wars as well. The battles between the guilds. One guild must be better than the others in every semester. If you want to also help your guild win against other guilds, one of the ways is scoring some points over the questions on Twitter. But I'll explain that on Twitter as well. Like, it's the same how it used to be, but yeah. Talking about the forms, these are pretty much all the ones you know and love. So obviously we have the book log. There's gonna be a Google form where you submit your book, you select your guild. Important because we will also give points to the guilds according to how much they read, so you know. But overall, this is mainly for us to just track how many pages or books we read, because it's a very satisfying number to see. Most of you guys will be very familiar with this form, and if you're not, it's very self-explanatory. Then we also have the buddy read finder, which we've had before. This is available for everyone to edit, so it does get a little bit chaotic, but if you want to look for a person or a group to read with, you can fill this in. You can also find a buddy read you can want to join, or start creating one, specifying how many people you're looking for, and then people post their social media tags so you can connect. As I mentioned before, there's also a transcript for those who prefer transcripts to the printables. I'm gonna work on the frequently asked questions bits. But if you also have questions, we have a Discord that I will also link down below. Not only do you get to sort yourself into a guild, which is pretty fun, and then you have your guild specific chat to talk to your guildies, but we also have a community that will be happy to answer your questions. Depending on my health, I am either pretty good at it or completely absent. So I might not see your question, but someone likely will, and they will probably know the answer. If in doubt, make your own rules. It's fine. And lastly, I really want to thank my wonderful friend AJ, who really helped to get my concepts into actual proper words and sentences for the document, and without whom I would have absolutely not made it in time for April. I will link his page down below because he is a freelance writer, and so if you're looking for this type of service, I'll link it down below. And I also want to thank my Patreons, with whom I share my creative process for the readathon many months in advance, and they always keep me very excited and very motivated, and I really need that a lot of the time, especially if it's not going well. I ask them for advice of what they prefer as readers, because I'm obviously creating this for you. And we also do fun things like including each other's handwriting on the printable, because I think it's a very cute thing. Anyway, I think that's it. I will have for sure forgotten something, but fingers crossed it's not like crucial. If I have forgotten something, I will write it down in the pinned comment down below. I hope you guys like it. I am very excited to see which calling you're going to pick. Have fun. See you in Orilium. Bye!